Broadcasting from the Cannon Motor Studio on Central Avenue in downtown Laurel, Mississippi. This is Good Morning Pine Belt with host Ben Winpitler on SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.
All right, Good Morning Pine Belt. We are back for our final show of 2025. Thank you for tuning in wherever you may be listening. Got a great show planned ahead for you today. Hey, but don't forget that if you missed the show, or if you want to go back and listen to any of the shows that we've done over the past year, you can always go back to our SuperTalk Laurel YouTube page. And don't worry, it's not video, so you don't have to look at me. It is just audio, but you can go back and listen, kind of dice it up at your own pace and listen to whatever one you prefer. So, all right, before we bring in our first guest of the day, I do want to mention that this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by McLaurin Carpets in Soso. From carpet to custom tile shower and every type of flooring in between, you can go see McLaurin Carpets today. It's a new year, so you need some new floors, and maybe you need a new custom tile shower. So go out there and see them right there off of Highway 28 in Soso or at McLaurinCarpets.com. So go check them out today. And they're great people. I promise you they're going to get you taken care of. So go check them out. All right, joining us now today from Covington County Hospital, she is Miss Alicia Ishee. She is the Assistant Director for Quality and Education. And Miss Alicia, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's jump right in. Excuse me. I know that this, as we come up into January and everything, there's going to be lots of things and new things that are happening, and y'all are always doing something at Covington County Hospital to really engage the community. I know that y'all have really done a good job of that over the last years. At least I've been paying attention. And y'all have something coming up here in the first couple of weeks in January and then moving forward. So why don't you tell us about what y'all are doing there to kind of engage the community?
Yes, well, we developed a support group for caregivers of Alzheimer's and dementia-related illnesses. So dementia is something that's prevalent, and Alzheimer's is also something that most people, a lot of people, when they get older, it's, of course, a form of dementia.
Right.
But we want to try to engage our community and let them know that we're here to support them and give them good information.
Okay, so this support group, what does that look like, and when has it been going, or does it?
It has.
Okay.
So we'll have our 5th meeting.
Okay.
The first week of January. I think it's going to be January the 6th.
Okay, January the 6th. So what does this look like? If somebody comes in and they're kind of unfamiliar, maybe their family member has just been diagnosed and they don't really know what to expect. When they walk in, and how does it work?
Well, it's open to the public.
Okay.
There's no fee.
Okay.
And we just want them to come. And it doesn't have to be a family member. It could be a friend.
Okay.
It could be someone who works in that area.
Yeah.
And so they just come and we meet. Sometimes we have guest speakers.
Yeah. And
get them good information and try to answer their questions.
Yeah, I gotcha. So, where exactly is, I know obviously is it at the hospital? Like how do you get in there? Like, is it in one big conference room? What's that look like?
Well, we usually have it in our ER classroom, but we've moved to a different area now. And people just need to come in the front entrance.
Okay. And
when they come there, they'll see signs directing them to where the meeting will be held. And we also have people that will be there that can also help them.
So this is I think you said it. It's obviously the 5th one. This is a reoccurring thing. Is it on a specific day each month, or what?
It's going to just be on the first Tuesday of every month.
Okay, and it's always at 6 o'clock. It
always starts at 6 to 7:30.
Okay, so I know you kind of said sometimes y'all have a guest speakers. So what is specifically the one on January 6th? What are y'all planning for that one?
Well, what I plan to do is kind of just see what we're doing.
Yeah.
Just to see, because I don't really plan on a speaker for that meeting.
Okay.
Only because it's the holidays.
Right.
But we do have speakers we do have people that work in the hospital, that work in this area, that they can come and talk and give some information just whenever.
Yeah, so it looks like y'all are going to have maybe a question and answer thing. Is
yes.
That okay?
So we've had two speakers come, and what they do is deliver their information, and then they have like a question and answer session.
Okay.
And it's just been pretty valuable, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, I know that obviously this is a great resource that y'all are starting, and I'm sure y'all are going to continue this as long as you possibly can.
Yes.
But sometimes people can't make these type of events, and I'm looking at some of the information you've given me. There's actually a helpline set up where even if they can't make this event, they can call anytime.
Yes, and that's through the Alzheimer's Association, and they have a helpline. It's 1-800-272-3900.
So when people call this helpline, what can they expect when they call?
They will give them information and just kind of ask where they're at in their journey.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. Obviously, you've been doing it now for a while. When you have these family members and different things, what are some of the most common questions, concerns, things that get brought up in these kind of meetings?
That's a good question. We have a lot of people that need breaks. They're the only caregiver.
Yes.
And so what we try to do is give them information to get those breaks.
Okay.
If they have a certain, say like home health or hospice, they can come in and their family member could come to our hospital for respite care.
Okay.
And that allows the family member to be able to, take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do.
Yeah, because, I mean, one thing that I've noticed is a lot of times you don't know about the resources until you know about the resources. So It sounds like that's what y'all are trying to do.
Yes, and we have a resource book we give to everyone that comes in, and that tells them all the resources in our community and the state. Yeah. It's amazing the amount of resources.
Okay, so this isn't just limited to anybody in Covington County. This can be anybody.
Yes, and you don't have to be in Covington County to come. Anyone can come. It doesn't matter where they're from. But yes, so it's resources through the state, their community, and it just gives them an idea of who they can call.
Yeah. Because like I said, I mean, sometimes they just need a break. You know,
yes.
I mean, I know that I've had some family members that my wife's family members that they've had to care for, and it really can be hard, and it's so taxing on the person that's caring for them, isn't it?
It is. I helped take care of my mother.
Yeah.
And it drains you.
Yeah.
Mentally, and you just want to be there for them.
Right.
So I just find also that support group helps family members come and just talk to one another and kind of just get out and find what everybody else is doing. What kind of tips that other people may have that they're not doing.
And sometimes when you talk to people who are in a similar situation, you may think, oh, I'm isolated. I'm the only one who's going through this. But there's a pretty high likelihood that you're not, right?
That's exactly right. And, these groups, sometimes we've ended up just kind of laughing and getting to know one another, and I think it's just also good for them to find someone to talk to. Yeah,
because I know sometimes when you get into the dementia and Alzheimer's patients, when they're in their lucid state, you can talk to them, but when they're not, it can be really hard.
Yes, and some people can go through severe stages.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I know that obviously this is one of the support groups and things that y'all do, but you mentioned some of the other things that Covington County Hospital offers as resources. What are some of the other resources that, other than the once-a-month support group, that y'all offer there?
Well, we also have our outpatient behavioral therapy group where people can come, and they'll actually go pick up that person.
Okay.
And bring them, and they'll spend time and just kind of doing some activities to kind of promote their, brain working and all that. Right. But we also have our senior care unit.
Okay.
And so if a family member, say, is not doing well on their meds, maybe they're becoming violent. Yeah. They could be more depressed. Mm-hmm. So they can come there, and they usually stay about maybe 2 weeks and try to get their medicine straightened out, and then they can go back home.
I gotcha. And again, these resources are available for anybody, anywhere in the state, wherever they may be coming from.
Now, for some of them, there are age requirements on some that they have to be over like 55 to be able to get to do those activities, but It's just, and then we'll also have our outpatient therapy.
Okay.
And that's all ages.
Okay, yeah. All right, so if somebody's listening and they're like, hey, this is, I have, like you said, a family member, a friend, or whatever, and they want to ask more questions specifically about this group or maybe some of the resources that y'all have, how do they get in contact with you guys?
Yes, they can call me, and that's my office number at 601-698-0128.
Okay. Is there any way they can reach it online or anything?
Well, I have an email address.
Okay.
And
no, that's fine. So if you reach out to her at the phone number, or if you go on the website, I'm sure you can get in contact with you there as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Miss Alicia, I really appreciate you coming in. I know that's going to be a great resource, or it has been already, and want to make sure that people know about it because, like you said, sometimes people just need other people to talk to.
They do, and I thank you for letting us get this information out there.
Absolutely. All right, and that's every first Tuesday of the month. The next one coming up is January 6th. That's right there at Covington County Hospital from 6 to 7:30. If you have a family member, if you have a friend that you're taking care of or helping with, go check it out. Go talk to someone and just talk. That's all you need to do. Thank you for coming in, Miss Alicia.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, when we come back, we're going to be talking with our pal Jim Walley from over there at Walley Properties. So stick around. Good Morning Pine Belt. We'll be right back.
This is Good Morning Pine Belt on SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.
All right. Good morning, Pine Belt. We're back here in the Cannon Motor Studio. Chilly Wednesday morning here, our last show of 2025. It has gone by quick. Our thanks to Miss Alicia Ishee there from Covington County Hospital. Just a fantastic resource that they are offering there for anyone in the community, because you know, if you have a family member or a friend in that condition and you're caring for them, you understand the struggle that it is. Just like she said, it's really hard. So go check that out. I'm sure it would be a great blessing to you. All right, before I bring in our next guest, I do want to mention that this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by Community Bank, local bankers, local decisions, and plenty of convenient locations, including one just down the block here on Central Avenue. Go see our friends over there at Community Bank today. Eric, Josh, the whole team, they'll get you taken care of over there at Community Bank today. All right, joining us now is from Walley Properties. We typically have Miss Rebecca on from Walley Properties, but joining us now is Mr. Jim Walley, the owner and founder of Walley Properties / Walley Forestry. And Mr. Jim, thanks for coming on this morning.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year's Eve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is Santa bring you anything good this year?
Oh, yeah. All good.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, Mr. Jim, I know that when we typically talk with Miss Rebecca, we talk a lot about the properties that y'all have, because y'all do, I mean, my goodness, y'all have some beautiful properties. Beautiful properties. But that's just one of the things that y'all do. We, Miss Rebecca, have kind of talked about it a little bit in the past, but one of the probably how you got started, if I had to guess, in this business is consulting, telling people, hey, because if you don't know trees, you don't know trees. And that's one of the things that y'all are experts in. So kind of tell us about that side of the thing and really what maybe even a forestry consultant does. Like, I don't know. What do you do as a forestry consultant?
Sure. You know, a great question. You know, there are many foresters. There are foresters that work for the Forest Service, and of course your brother Caleb that works for the Mississippi Forestry Commission, and there are many foresters that work for industry. They buy timber, and even urban foresters.
Right.
Well, the difference with a consultant forester is that we work on behalf of the landowner.
Okay.
We help landowners navigate some of the complex decisions of when to sell timber, when to thin. If I cut my timber, how do I go back and reforest?
Right.
What type of cost share opportunities are there? So, you know, our goal is to understand our clients' needs.
Yeah.
And how this really starts out is that they'll call our office, and Rebecca or one of our ladies will answer the phone, and then they'll make maps, and Jamie or I will talk with them, and we'll normally come out to their property, and walk through it, or if they're an absentee landowner, we'll make them a report.
Yeah.
Or what some landowners want, especially those that have a lot of acreage, that we may do something called a management plan. Now, of course, we could just do a couple-page summary, or we could come in with a complex plan
right.
that would guide them over a 10-year period. And something interesting, too, are their funding opportunities for a plan.
Yeah.
Now, I am a certified tree farm plan writer,
Yeah.
and there are funds available through the American Tree Farm System.
Okay, what does that mean, a certified tree farm planner? What does that mean?
What that means is that I've met the qualifications to go in and certify that this farm is doing everything sustainable in the right way.
I gotcha.
In fact, I brought you a plan.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. My goodness, what a detailed plan. I mean, y'all have got, this is, I don't know how many pages, 40-some-odd pages.
Yeah, 48 pages on that. Now, this particular landowner has over 400 acres, and you can see that the plan started in 2022. It's 8 different stands, and so if you go through there, you can see that in 2025, we recommend stand number 6 that had a thinning on 60 acres.
Okay.
And then in 2027, stand number 5 is going to be a clear cut, like 45 acres.
Right.
So this is a complex plan, but it gives them 10 years of what we recommend to do. But there's also another funding avenue, and that's through the Natural Resource Conservation, NRCS.
Okay.
Now, one thing that the funding cycle in January the 15th. So
okay. It's coming up soon. That's
right. So, the one in Laurel's on 16th Avenue, but the landowner can go in and say, I would like to apply for a timber management plan.
Okay.
And they will pay for us to do the plan.
Oh, wow.
For them.
So, that's nice. And so just kind of looking at these plans now, when you say stand, I'm a deer hunter, so that I automatically think, oh, well, you got a deer stand there. What does that mean, the stands?
That means that's a group of trees that's similar in shape, and so some of these were planted at certain times, and so they're different than the other ones. So you'll see that some are maybe 20 years old, some are 25 years old, and some may have just been planted. So on this particular property, there were 8 different stands that. And what we do, we go in and analyze the soil type. Yeah. We see the quality of the timber. Yeah. And then we make recommendations and options for the landowners.
Okay. Yeah.
To look at. But some of the other things that we do as a consultant is we offer turnkey services. Okay. By that I mean that when it's time to sell timber. Yeah. When someone we analyze it, we check the market, we see what species that they have, and then. We go in, analyze it. We do a timber inventory, a timber cruise. We send it out to all the different timber buyers. They bring bids to our attorney's office. They open the bids. If they're acceptable, then we have a contract that protects the landowner. We require a performance bond to make sure the fences and gates are put back and the roads are restored. Yeah. Once the harvesting, and we do inspect the harvesting. Once it's complete, we help them with the cost share forms. In fact, I would call Caleb up and say, Caleb, I have someone in Jasper County that, sending a form in for assistance for reforestation and planting. Right. And what that involves is normally spraying herbicides in October. Okay. Coming back and planting that winter with that. So we help them from selling the timber to inspecting the timber to the site preparation and planting. All is a term.
Well, that's so important because I go outdoors and kind of have a general idea, and obviously I have a brother who works directly in it. But really, if you don't know this stuff, there's so much complexity that goes into timber sales and making sure you're growing the right thing in the right area. And if you don't know, if you don't have an expert eye, you can get lost in it pretty quick.
Sure, and when it comes down to planting trees. What a lot of people don't realize, there's so many different varieties and families. Yeah. We have something very unique set up in Lamar County. We have a research site that we set up. It's going on 6 years old. Yeah. We partnered with Arborgen Seedling Company. Mm-hmm. We have 22 different families of trees that are planted. Wow. Actually, they can call our office and we can tell them where to see this. Yeah. So we see what these results are. But I also travel to other research areas like Summerville, South Carolina to see what these genetic trees will do. Yeah. So as you as a landowner, when you talk with us, we can recommend what we've seen and what we know performs best for you.
Yeah, it's not just as simple as, hey, I've got a oak tree, I've got 1,000 oak trees, and I'm gonna just slap out here. It's not that simple, because that may not be what your land calls for.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel like y'all probably ran into that a few times.
Sure. And then some soils that are very sandy, we may recommend longleaf pine versus the loblolly pine.
Yeah, there you go. So let me ask you, why is that, environmentally speaking, why is it important to make sure all these things are correct?
Well, there's just so many issues that landowners may not understand.
Yeah.
And one thing, let's go back to the timber sales.
Yeah.
When we go out and our foresters, we go in and flag out or delineate creek areas that we don't want to have, washing on creeks.
Right.
Insensitive areas that do not need to be logged. So a lot of these things that a landowner may not think about, that we try to look on the front end of that and help them.
Yeah, and this is for, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, you don't necessarily have to be somebody who lives here within the area. It can be, hey, I live in Tennessee and I inherited some land in the area. Y'all can help them too.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've had just the last couple of days call a lady from Chicago, a guy from Louisiana, somebody from Stone County. So some of these are absentee landowners.
One thing I did want to ask you too is, we're running out of time. Virgin timber. How much virgin timber is actually left in this state?
Well, there's really no virgin timber left in the state. Yeah, that was when Eastman Gardner Company came in. Yeah. So much of this was logged in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Yeah. And so those trees. Pretty much, if they were left, lightning strikes that would have taken those trees out many. So
if somebody comes to trying to sell you land, they're like, "Oh, I got all this virgin timber," and it's not really.
It could possibly be some remote areas, but
not much.
That's
right. Not hardly any. Well, Mr. Jim, if somebody's interested in these services, if they're like, "Hey, I've got this kind of land, I've got this opportunity," how do they get in touch with you guys?
They can call our office in Ellisville, 601-477-3014. They can look us up on the website, walleyforestry.com. We have a lot of information that they can look and find out about our company and the services we offer.
There you go. Well, Mr. Jim, we appreciate you coming in. We appreciate you all that do with us, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, when we come back, we're going to stick with the theme of the outdoors. We're going to be talking with somebody from the Wildlife and Fishery Department. Stick around. Good Morning Pine Belt. We'll be right back from the Cannon Motor Studio.
Good Morning Pine Belt. SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.
All right, here we go. Good Morning Pine Belt. We are back. Final show here of 2025. Big thanks to Mr. Jim Walley there from Walley Properties, Walley Forestry. I'm telling you, if you would have looked at that report that he gave me, you would have no doubt that they're going to take care of you if you call and need their services. Don't get taken advantage of. That's one thing we talked about off air. Don't get taken advantage of. Call an expert, somebody who really will fight for you. Because if you don't know, you don't know. So, our thanks to him for coming in. Before we bring in our guest here, next guest, I knew what to mention that this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by Dixie Electric Power Association. Go check out DE FastLink today. They have broadband internet, and it's expanding now. So go check out the new map and see if you are eligible for DE FastLink soon. All right, joining us now from the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, and is Mr. Darrin Hardesty. He is a waterfowl biologist. And Darrin, thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, well, Darrin, I know we talked a little bit off air. I'm not much of a duck hunter, but first, before we kind of get into some things that we're talking about, how do you get into waterfowl biology?
Well, you just first foremost, you got to have a passion for the outdoors.
Yeah.
You got to love being outside and just love being in God's creation and taking it all in. So
absolutely.
But,
how long have you worked for him?
So I've been with the state since 2009. I got a degree from Delta State University.
Yeah, fighting
bachelor's
okra.
And master's degree. Yep. In concentration in wildlife management. And like I said, got hired on with the state in 2009, and I've loved every day since.
There you go. All right, so I guess that leads me to my next question. Are you from the Delta area?
I'm originally from Arkansas.
Okay, well that would explain your obsession with ducks.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
All right, so let's get into that, because obviously in that area and in some areas around here in the Pine Belt, duck hunting, especially there in that area, duck hunting is huge. I'm never been duck hunting, but I have heard that once you go you kind of get addicted to it. So I do definitely would like to go one day. But it is the middle of duck season right now. And first of all, before we kind of get into some of the surveys and everything, how has the duck season been so far this year? What has been the reports?
So, it's kind of been mixed reports, but early on, reports showed that, we had a pretty strong start to the season. A lot of birds showed up early, and hunters were having some pretty good success at the beginning part of the season. But if you one thing that goes along with waterfowl is the weather. Just the weather over the course of the past month has not been too favorable for ducks, and it's starting to take its toll here midway through the season. It's kind of what we call the December lull.
Yeah.
Typically we get a good push of birds early, in November, and then December just kind of falls off until Mother Nature wants to cooperate with us.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I guess that leads me to my next question. The weather, it's more of an effect than people think, isn't it, on these migrations and everything?
Oh, absolutely. So, like I said, first part of the season there, mid-November, we typically get this nice cold spell. Things turn off cold, and the birds start migrating south. But over the course of the last week or so, the weather in most of the north part of the Delta has been unseasonably warm.
Yeah. Temperatures
have been in the mid to low 70s, and that's just not favorable for waterfowl migration into the southern states. So we are experiencing a little bit of cooler spell right now, early this week, but once again, it's supposed to be short-lived.
So I guess that leads me to my next question. I know that y'all work really hard to really figure out kind of how these birds are moving in and out from our area, and y'all do a lot of surveys and kind of getting an idea of how. So I know you just finished one up for December, or finishing one up for December. What was the result of that December, the aerial survey?
Yeah, so, we do multiple surveys. One of those surveys is our aerial waterfowl survey. We do conduct, we fly one of those surveys in November. We fly one in December, and then we end up flying two different surveys in January.
Yeah.
And we've got the results of those, of the November and the December surveys posted on our website. But for the December survey, some of the results from that were what was typically of kind of what we're seeing and hearing across the board. It matches up with what we saw in the survey. Total duck estimates were around 390,000 ducks. Wow. That's just for December, and that's about 19% below the long-term average.
Okay.
We've been flying the survey since 2007, so we got a pretty good data set.
Yeah.
So that's about 19% below that long-term average, but but it's well above the average estimate for the past 5 years. For mallards, it's about 18% below the long-term average, but it was almost double what it was for this time last year.
So I guess my next question, kind of leading off of that, why? Obviously, it's lower than the historical average, but you said it is higher over the last 5 years.
Yeah,
what has been that difference?
Compared to the past 5 years, this past year, habitat availability during nesting season was a little bit greater this year than it has been in the past several years in the nesting grounds. So
why do you think maybe that is?
Well, it was just a little bit. It was a little bit wetter spring, and so that provided a little bit better habitat in the nesting grounds up north.
I gotcha.
So typically get better nest success, and then like I said, we had a little bit colder weather early on, which brought some birds down early.
Right. All right, so how do you?
Kind of what we're experiencing now is just with it being dry, we haven't had a whole lot of rain.
Yeah.
So wetland habitat availability right now is still pretty low.
Yeah.
Below average across the majority of the Delta, and we noticed that flying the aerial survey. Just the wetland areas that are typically there.
Yeah.
They're not there. The Mississippi River levels are extremely low. There's areas that have pumping capabilities. They're finding themselves having to turn their pumps back on to maintain existing water levels. We're doing that on some of our wildlife management areas, National Wildlife Refuges, having to turn the wells on. That's not typical for this time, late December,
Yeah.
And so that's starting to take its toll as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. How do y'all conduct these surveys? I know you say y'all fly. How does that work?
Yeah, so we fly these surveys. We're in a fixed wing aircraft flying about 400 feet AGL, which is above ground level. So we're pretty low to the ground.
Yeah.
We fly. They're randomly selected transects, and we break the Delta area up into 5 different regions. And we fly from Memphis south all the way to Vicksburg, and we fly from the hills to the river. And like I said, they're randomly selected transects, and we're looking out one window of the plane, and we are pretty much taking a guesstimation, I guess, counting ducks by species and habitat type.
Okay.
We take a GPS point every time we see a group of ducks and try to do the best we can to identify species, counting all waterfowl, like I said, by species along that transect and taking a GPS point and also keeping up with habitat type that they're in, whether it's in a flooded agricultural field or moist soil unit or wooded forested wetland, something like that.
Gotcha. So, I one thing that I've always wondered, because I know occasionally, my brothers have done a little bit. They'll have some areas that are kind of flooded where the ducks can come in and everything. Do you see is the majority of the waterfowl and that type of duck hunting done in that Delta to Vicksburg area? What is there? Is it spread out anywhere throughout the state else?
So you can definitely have successful waterfowl hunts throughout the entire state. But for the most part, historically, all the lion's share of the waterfowl hunting takes place in the Delta.
Yeah.
Most of because it's there's more wetland areas,
right.
Flooded agricultural crops,
Yeah.
Moist soil units, things like that.
Yeah.
And flooded oxbows, things like that.
Right.
Other parts of the state, you've got little tributaries and little ponds and stuff that are really good, like wood duck spots.
Oh, yeah.
But there are some spots, on the east side of the state that it's got, and some of that agricultural area land over there can have some pretty good spots as well.
Gotcha. All right, so is there anything right now specifically that y'all are wanting to kind of tell hunters as they, obviously it's kind of a lull period right now, but anything that you're like, hey, they really need to know this as we finish out the season, maybe look towards next season?
Yeah, so we definitely, have our fingers crossed. We always try to stay optimistic as duck hunters. It can be depressing sometimes, you go out there and you put in a lot of work to try to attract birds to your property. Sometimes you can do everything right and the ducks just don't react, and just trying to remain hopeful. We've got some cold weather hopefully in January, and we need some rain, to increase the habitat across the state. But typically, like I said, we've when we flew the survey last week, there was a couple of days there where things were pretty cold and some of the water was frozen over and birds were kind of concentrated in certain areas.
Yeah.
That was kind of short-lived, and those short-lived freezing temperatures, a lot of times waterfowl hunters think of, freezing temperatures, they think of increased waterfowl numbers, but oftentimes those short-lived freezing temps in Mississippi that pretty much only influences waterfowl behavior more than it does overall abundance, and so those effects can kind of be temporary.
Okay.
And more localized movement.
Yeah.
We really need another round of snowfall and several days of below freezing temperatures across the Midwest.
Yeah.
That certainly help to continue to bring birds southward. But
All right. Well, Darrin, we've kind of run out of time in this segment, but I want to hold you over to the next segment, though, because I know as y'all, especially as y'all kind of get out of this season and everything, y'all are going to do some more surveys and probably even have some more events coming up. So when we come back in the next segment, in the final segment, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that y'all are doing coming up in 2026 and what that's going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We're going to keep Darrin on. We'll bring him right back in this final segment. This is the final show of 2026, ending it off with a little bit of duck hunting tips for all you duck hunters out there. And so stick around if you want to hear the rest of it. And we appreciate Darrin coming on. So we'll be right back. This is Good Morning Pine Belt from the Cannon Motor Studio, our final show of 2026. Stick around right here on SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.
You're tuned in to Good Morning Pine Belt on SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.
All right, here we go. Final segment here of the final show of 2025. Good Morning Pine Belt. Thank you for tuning in wherever you may be listening. Final segment of Good Morning Pine Belt today brought to you by our friends over at Bank First. Still all the same people that you know and trust. Just a little bit more technology in your name right there over at Bank First. Go check them out for anything that you need in the banking world. They will take care of you. All right, we are now continuing our conversation with Darrin Hardesty. He is a waterfowl biologist there with the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. And Darrin, as we kind of left there at the end of the segment, we were talking about some of the patterns and everything and areas where people hunt. And one thing we were kind of talking about off air is kind of the rise and popularity of duck hunting, especially in the youth. But one thing that I mentioned, is, I've never been duck hunting. I've got some buddies that have a cam. But one thing that you mentioned that a lot of people forget about is we have so much great, just incredible public land that's available for anybody.
Yeah, that's right. So, we try our best, state agency, to provide quality waterfowl habitat and hunting opportunities across the state. And we've got a number of wildlife management areas that we have managed for waterfowl and waterfowl hunting opportunities. On a year like this year when habitat is low, those areas are typically they're going to have the areas managed for ducks, and so they're going to have water early, and they'll still have water right now, and so we've got, like I said, our waterfowl management areas. There's also from the federal side, there's national wildlife refuges and places like that. So there's places for sure that if someone wanted to go duck hunting and to get into duck hunting, but they don't have to have a piece of land themselves, or expect somebody to cross your fingers and hope somebody invites you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing too that you mentioned there, the public land and everything. With public land comes lots of different people. And one thing that we were talking about that's really important, and this applies. I'm a deer hunter. It applies for really any type of hunting. Is the pressure that you're putting on these animals. The more people that are in there, the less birds you may be likely to see.
Yep. So we try to manage our wildlife management areas in a couple of different ways. We have some areas, we do as a state, definitely understand that, we want to provide opportunities. So we have areas that are just open. You can go and hunt, and sometimes those places, if the ducks are in there, can be a little crowded. But we have other areas that are draw only. So those are kind of more of our better quality areas because we're managing the certain, the specific days that people can be in there. And then we have draws with what we call a standby opportunity. So we host a draw, and then if you're unsuccessful getting a draw, you can show up the morning of on that WMA and put your name in for a drawing the morning of for a standby opportunity. So that means if there's a vacant spot that was left where somebody didn't show up for their draw, we do another draw the morning of.
Wow.
That just tries to increase the opportunities for waterfowl hunters on public land and also providing them a quality experience.
Absolutely. All right, one thing, too, that we talked about, and I certainly don't want to mention that, miss this, y'all do lots of different events and, educational type opportunities. Tell us about some of those that are coming up.
Yeah, so some of the things that are coming up, so our duck season goes all the way to the end of January 31st, and then after that, you have the Youth, Veteran, and Active Military Weekend, February 7th and 8th.
Okay.
And during that time, we'll host a youth waterfowl camp.
Oh, wow.
We every year for the past several years we've been the Gunnar Palmer Memorial Waterfowl Youth Camp, and we've we invite youth to. There's a home application process. You can go to our website every year and apply for that. And we go through all the applications and pick about 15 youth to come and spend 3 or 4 days with us, and we teach them all things waterfowl and duck calling, waterfowl habitat management, ID, how to clean the birds and how to cook them, even and duck hunting, and it's always a big time. And
that's awesome, man.
What's really great is when we're working on WMA a couple of years from then, and we see some youth that come walking up, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, I went to that camp." And
that's awesome.
And that's always neat because you feel like you had an impact, right?
Yeah, I mean that's so important, passing that love of the outdoors on to the next generation. So. All right, well, Darrin, we're running out of time here, but you kind of mentioned it. If they want to see these resources, find these camps, see all the reports and everything that you have coming up, where do they find all that?
Yeah, so definitely go to our website, mdwfp.com, and look at our waterfowl program page. We've got our weekly waterfowl reports on there. There's WMA waterfowl hunting information there. There's stuff for private landowners. There's a site visit request link there that you can click on, and if you want some biologists to come check out your property with you and help you manage it. There's also different links there to just wetland habitat management information. There's just all kinds of stuff on there, waterfowl, duck and goose, and migratory bird related stuff. So just go to our website and check out our waterfowl program page.
There you go. Well, Darrin, we really appreciate you coming on. Great information, and Happy New Year to you, man.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right. Well, that does it for Good Morning Pine Belt for 2025. I just want to say I really appreciate you tuning in this year. It's been an honor to host the show. Looking forward to it in the next year and years to come. Hey, don't forget, if you're trying to go out to K-Rocks, he's closed right now. I think this is his last week maybe that he's closed. But, hey, he'll be open up soon. You can go check him out. On behalf of Super Talk and Good Morning Pine Belt, I hope you have a healthy and safe new year. Don't forget, don't get behind the wheel if you've been drinking. We will talk to you next year in 2026. Until then, always keep your dial on Super Talk Laurel 99.3.